Welcome to Across the Balkans. I'm Nafisa Latic. The Srebrenica Genocide resolution vote at the United Nations, which was scheduled to take place beginning of May, has been postponed for the second time. Local media reports that the work on the final version of the text is underway. If adopted, July the 11th would be designated the International Day of Remembrance of the 1995 Srebrenica Genocide. The resolution has been put forward by Rwanda and Germany and sponsored by the US, Italy, France, Turkey and many other countries, including all Western Balkan countries. However, Serbia and Bosnian Serbs are strongly lobbying against it in the United Nations. With the help from Russia, Bosnian Serb presidency member Željko Cvijanović has wrote a letter to the UN and spoke at the UN Security Council, arguing that the resolution has been put forward without Serb entity approval.
There are currently several major challenges to peace and stability within BiH. Most are being manipulated, initiated by foreign and domestic political actors who seek to rewrite the Dayton Agreement, the BiH Constitution, BiH laws, and international law.
Expressing the standpoint of administrative territorial unity in Bosnia and Herzegovina instead of the official state positions, as the case here with the letter in question, has no legal foundation and again is in violation of relevant provisions of the Dayton Peace Agreement.
Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić has strongly condemned the submission of Srebrenica resolution to the UN and vows to continue lobbying against its adoption. Meanwhile, young people from Serbia sent a letter to the UN General Assembly expressing their support for the resolution on the Srebrenica genocide. Well, the Youth Initiative for Human Rights said it sees the resolution as a guarantee of peace and a key step in the process of dealing with the past. It also accused Serbia's highest state officials of continuously glorifying convicted war criminals, saying these acts endanger Serbia's peace process and that of the entire region. Well, let's get more on Serbia's reaction to the Srebrenica Genocide resolution. I'm joined now from Belgrade by Dušan Janjić. He is the president of the executive board at the Forum for Ethnic Relations. Mr. Janjić, why is Serbian government so against this resolution, despite the fact that the actual text doesn't mention Serbs at all? Belgrade is looking very isolated at the moment.
There are minimum two reasons. The first one is most important in this very moment is basically something what President Vučić announced the 2nd March of this year. Basically, he proclaimed the strong fights against the hybrid war of the Western countries, or collective West, that's the Russian terminology now using also by the President of Serbia, against his governing. Basically, that's connected with the coming elections, or there's the way how Vučić wants to managing the really deep social, economic, and political crisis in Serbia. That's the first. This propaganda is connected not only with the Srebrenica, Republika Srpska status, but also with Kosovo. It's not the first time that we have the extraordinary meeting of the Security Council called by Serbia, basically by Russia. The first was about Kosovo, genocide against or ethnic cleansing of Serbs by Kurti government. That was the official title. And now we have this, the second time that Russia backing Serbia. And there is one without the success. That was the idea that Russia will call the special meeting about the international NATO intervention against the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, including Serbia, Kosovo. And basically, that second moment is connected with the really serious changes in the foreign policy of Serbia. And now, I think, and I will finish with that, Serbia is very, Vučić also, they challenged it so much, not only international community, not only regional public opinion, but also the democratic forces in Serbia. I found it that his main interest now is to eliminate any opposition and to try to establish the total control over the country. But reality is that possible or mostly possible he will lose the big towns in Serbia. You know that situation. There's the situation in which we have the beginning of the end of one the governing. That's the main reason. Unfortunately, he's manipulating, he's misusing the I will say, important topic like genocide in Srebrenica, and that's something personal also, but we could comment that later.
Well, despite challenges, he seems to determined to continue with his stance and oppose this. He also says it completely opposes the Serbian interests. Let's hear from him.
This will open up a Pandora's box because there will be no end to the proposals for resolutions on genocides committed, as we have judgments after World War II that initiated the most serious criminal acts of genocide against the Serbian people in Jasenovac and other Serbian slaughterhouses. So we will be raising these issues. And as I hear, the Russians are raising issues, and many others will be raising these issues.
Why is he saying this will open a Pandora's box, and what is it that he doesn't want to open? What kind of discussions following this resolution?
But that's the way how the President Vučić and ruling parties are trying to present the Serbian interest. According to them, the Serbian interest today is completely different than it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, the Parliament of Serbia passed the declaration about the ethnic war crimes and serious crimes. They did not use the term genocide in Srebrenica, but they condemned the people like the people who are today promoting as the heroes, the people who committed crimes. The new in this story, the Vučić is something basically what he did not say when he was to visit Potocari, the place on the memorial center. At that time, he was really, on the side of the, at that time, Serbian policy. This last statement, in which he discovered something what does not exist in the paper, maybe it exists in ethno-nationalistic narratives among the Bosniaks, Serbs, Croats. We know very well that ethno-nationalistic narratives are something what is quite natural results of the long stories of ethnic conflicts, and especially the war crimes and ethnic cleansing activities made during the 90s. Anyway, in declaration, no any statement about possible war repartition or something that is for public in Serbia for internal use. But what is more important, I think that President Vučić must to stop in this moment and to think what he wants to achieve. Serbian interest basically is to be, to face with the open eyes with the history. No any reason to redraft the history in the way how now is doing the ethno-nationalistic leaders of Serbia. And just one moment, which is really important. All of them, or many of them, just taking the new government. Vučić, Minister Vulin, Minister Dačić, and so on. Many of them were involved in the politics during the Milosevic period. Many of them were in some way, personally, they have some kind of the personally responsibility for the war ethno-nationalistic policies of Serbian government at that time. I could understand they want to defend himself, their images, but they have to think what means today, not to talk about the truth. The truth is the genocide.
The truth that is based on the international verdicts, and it's not about anymore who does like the resolution or not. It's about historical facts and something that was determined by the courts, as the court determined that Srebrenica was genocide. But now with Montenegro as well backing the resolution, it just shows that the only country in the Western Balkans that is not ready to move from its past towards more stability is Serbia, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that's true. Not that they dislike to move ahead. They want to go back. It's impossible. You could not, in reality, in the real life, You could not harass in that way the truth and the history. You could not basically, you have the right to have some imagination, some ideology, but it's the ideological propaganda state of mind. But Serbia is in the situation to think about the future, about the today's economy. Serbia in this way is going so far of the EU, of the other countries in the regions, they are going to be self-isolated. For what? Just to be one of the propaganda tools of Kremlin. I think is not the interest of Serbia.
And I just have 20 seconds left, but I do want to ask you, if the resolution is adopted and is looking, it will be, are you concerned about the security situation in Bosnian Serb entity, as we are hearing severe threats coming from Mr. Dodik? Is this backed by Belgrade as well?
No, that is just some false argument for Dodik's policy in the last minimum 10 years. He's promoting the secession and he's using all of them, I would say, possibly arguments to strengthening his position. But unfortunately, 2017 was a really serious discussions in Serbian public opinion about the so-called internal dialogue on Kosovo. At that period of time, Vučić, Vulin, and Dodik tried to move this, the idea, and it was not accepted by the public opinion of Serbia. I will tell you that the public research at the time, or the public opinion research, shown that only 9% of people in Serbia will accept some kind of exchange, the Kosovo for Republika Srpska. Basically, no support for that in the public opinion in Serbia.
Okay.
Dodik has the right to fight for his support in Republika Srpska. He has the right personally to try to escape all consequences of breaking the laws, but his personal fight politically is really dangerous for Vučić to move and for Serbia, because Vučić is president, presenting Serbia to move in that really cul-de-sac, historical cul-de-sac.
Dušan Janjić, always great to have this discussion with you, and thank you so much for being our guest again.